The 21-year-old suspect now charged under the Espionage Act in the massive leak of military secrets posted on social media. This is just the latest case of mishandled top-secret documents, as the federal government classifies more than 50 million documents every year. So is the U.S. government's system for labeling and tracking classified documents broken? Let's ask Florida Congressman Cory Mills, who sits on the House Armed Services Committee and sees plenty of classified information. So, Congressman, part of the problem here is that so much gets classified that you need additional clearances to see it, and it all gets ramped up.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, we have many documents which are able to be found in an open source information or open source intel capability that we ever classified. But when we talk about this scenario here in particular, however, what it does is that it's actually uncovered the fact that not only are the authorization of use of military force from the 01-02 era being completely abused by many presidents on the left and the right, but these types of information or intel leaks are actually disclosing the fact that there has been an abdication and a bypassing of Congress in Article 1 with regards to the authorization of war powers.
So, yeah, we still don't quite know the motives of this leaker. They say he wanted to look cool in a chat room, but what he has revealed ultimately shows the government not telling us the truth and overstepping its bounds, to your point. I mean, is this something that Congress or others will actually act on based on what we've learned?
Well, we absolutely should. And, you know, the sad part is that just about a month ago, we voted on the repeal of the 01-02 as regards to withdrawing our troops out of Syria. And what we noted and what I noted was the fact that we have been utilizing a abdication of duties under the 01-02 AUMFs that essentially have been utilized now for purposes they were never intended for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. And so this certainly demonstrates that. But to your point from an earlier statement is that, one, I purposely think that this individual who has released it to either look cool or to try and go ahead and disclose some type of a top secret or classified information doesn't understand that it not only endangers the lives of those who are downrange, but it also is a complete violation of what we're trying to do by keeping our information secure. And this has been a big issue for the DoD for quite a long time. You know, Pete, as you know, when we go into a SCIF to get a classified briefing, in most cases, our documents not only have numbers on them, but once we're done with the actual briefing itself, they are recounted and gathered up to a guarantee that you do not have any documents that can go outside. And now, in addition to that, before we even walk into the SCIF, you are checked to make sure that we don't have any Apple Watches, we don't have any phones on us, we don't have any capability of recording and or taking photos. And so the fact that this individual is able to do that shows that the system is broken and needs to be basically revamped.
It's true. That's the other side of it, is when you compromise this type of information, you compromise lives of people doing difficult, dark, dirty work on our behalf in silence that we never know about, that now have the threat of being exposed. But, you know, I recall a SCIF in Afghanistan that I had access to that, while it was controlled, if you wanted to come in and out, you probably could have printed something out and taken it out. A lot of it comes down to humans. You take an oath, you swear to defend the Constitution, and we have to take people at their word. And when they don't, you get stuff like this.
Well, you're exactly right. And again, I can remember even in Baghdad, we'd go into the intel cell and there was very, very little screening as we'd go in and out of the intel room. Yeah. And so, you know, my big thing is one, there is an overclassification where we overclassify too many documents. Two, this individual, while he may have tried to do something for a look cool appearance or put something online, you know, as we noted earlier, it does sometimes, as we'd seen with previous leaks, disclose the fact that the executive branch is abusing their powers. And so, you know, I'm still going back to the idea that, you know, you and I had both deployed downrange before. We have to identify with the fact that this is continuing to be a misuse, in my opinion, and abuse of war powers under the AUMF that I think that needs to be abdicated. It is unconstitutional that we can actually assemble a document that bypasses Article 1, which is the congressional right to vote on these types of things outside of the 90 days of the executive branch. And so there's multiple things that appear here. One is, yes, they need to be held accountable. Two, yes, we need to look at overclassification and how we can prevent these types of leaks. But three, this has brought to light the fact that the executive branch is continuing to utilize and abuse these abdications of duties.
All three of those can be true at the same time. You're exactly right. Representative Cory Mills, thank you so much for your time and your service.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.